What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Rad Up All Night. It's been a while since I've done one of these, guys, and I love doing these, so that's why I figured, you know what, I had about an hour. Let's sneak this in now. Late night. I didn't advertise it or anything like that because it was kind of a last-minute decision on some stuff that I wanted to talk about anyway, so it was either make a video about it or do something like this, and I think this would kind of be the perfect time to do it with all of you and kind of get some input on what you guys have to say. But before I kind of get started and get into who's here, just let me know in the chat, do I sound okay? Is the mic working well? The music in the background too loud? Are we good? Because last time I did a live, these headphones were kicking in and out, so I just want to make sure I sound okay. So let me know. All right, we've got Mike. What's up, man? Gus. What's up, dude? Sam, how are you? Witch Hunter, thanks for coming back. Matt, what is going on? Thanks, dude. Everything sounds good? All right, let's roll. Ken Carlson, what is going on, man? How are you guys doing tonight? It's cool to see people rolling in. Like I said, you guys must have some notifications on because I didn't tell anybody else coming on tonight. So thank you, guys. What's up, Jason? What up? What up? Card Redemption, what's going on? What's up? Back for Blood again. Let me know we sounded good, right? Sounds like butter, Jason said, so I sound good. Okay, perfect. All right, cool. I mean, I've been working all day, so anything that was announced today, I've totally missed. So if things like that were announced, cool. I'm really kind of out of the loop with that. There was some notes I was taking throughout the week on some things that had kind of happened in the physical media world. I know there's a lot going on in the movie world with, you know, strikes and stuff like that. I don't know much of the details on it. I know the writers was on a strike. Now I know the actors or something's going on there. Again, I caught like a little glimpse of a post, but I really don't know the full details on that. But yeah, whatever it is, I'm sure it's not good for the movie industry right now. And it's crazy because the movie industry right now, especially when it goes to like things coming out, like seems pretty strong. I mean, you know, you had something like Indiana Jones come out. Now, again, have I seen any of these in theaters? Not necessarily. For me to get to the theater nowadays is actually very, very difficult. I try to make events of it, but there's only so many times I can make that happen with life and work and whatnot. So it's unfortunate, but I obviously I'm not helping the cause of keeping theaters around or anything like that, which again, I wish I could do more, but it seems like there's a lot of things kind of being successful right now. Like, yeah, the Indiana Jones, like I said, did pretty well, I assume. Then obviously you look at Mission Impossible, which I'm sure is going to do really well. I've heard nothing but great things about that. And to be honest, I like Tom Cruise and I actually enjoy all the Mission Impossible movies, even though that's not, you know, something that you people would think based on what I talk about here on the show. I also know that, you know, Barbie's coming out. I know that Oppenheimer's coming out. So these are all movies that seem to be in the running to do really well. And to see the kind of industry on the back end in Hollywood kind of not in a good place, you know, that kind of sucks. So again, I don't know all the details on that. Maybe it's just TV shows. I have no idea. But with that being said, you know, I wanted to kind of talk about Insidious Red Door because that is one I'm interested in checking out because I do like the Insidious series. I think number 4, as far as I remember, it was not memorable for me. So Red Door wasn't anything I was excited to like have to get out to, but I'll see it in time. But it seems like it did really well at the box office, which is crazy because it just goes to show like horror still does really well. I mean, you look at it, Evil Dead did great. Evil Dead Rise, Megan did really good. I mean, these different movies like the Scream franchise, like it always does well. Like horror still does really well in the theaters. So I hope that's a good sign that we're going to get more you know, horror movies kind of hit the theater. That's an ultimate goal for me because those are the ones that I am more apt to make time to go see. So speaking of that, there is one, and I'll go back to the chat to see if anybody's seen this because as far as I know, It was released on like a one night only type deal, and then it's coming to the theaters, I think, later this month. And I just heard about it, and I think A24 is doing it. I said that last night during my stream, which we can talk about a little bit, and people weren't really sure, and I thought maybe I misheard or whatever, but I did look it up, and it did say A24 is connected, and that's a movie called Talk to Me. This kind of just popped up on my radar, and it seems like something I'm really excited about. It's people are saying it's similar, as scary as Hereditary was, and I love Hereditary, so I don't know, something about this movie seems really cool, and it's like this kind of like hand that they talk to or something. It's just really interesting for what I've seen of it. But if anybody's checked it out, let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'm gonna go back to the comments now just in case I kind of wasn't talking about something correctly, because again, the movie theater isn't really my forte or anything like that, so just go by what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing. Jesse, what's up? Matt, oh, Scrooge, somebody did send me that today in a message. I'm excited for that. I love that movie, man. Tom Cruise rocks, dude. Matt says, I never go to the theaters either. Family of four, you're right, that's the one thing. You got a family of four, man, that's $100 a pop. That's tough for one night to go to the movies. I can remember being a kid, it was like $7 a piece or something like that, and popcorn was reasonably priced. It's tough, dude. I totally get it. Luckily, I'm not in that boat yet, where I'd have to worry about that, but it's going to be tough, man. It really, really is. Everything around is getting expensive. Everything. Even just look at even Blu-rays and 4Ks and stuff. Like, these companies are releasing 4 movies a month, and each one is about $35 to $40. That's tough. You're right. He really has. And I don't care what anybody says about him on a personal level. Like, the dude doesn't do shit. You know what I mean? So, if he's in it, he knew that this thing was going to be a hit. And obviously getting into something like Top Gun and Mission Impossible, he probably already was like, well, they're already made franchises, right? But Tom Cruise is not dumb, right? He knows. So I have to respect that. What's up, Brent? How you doing, man? Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you guys coming to say hi. So if you're watching, pop in and say what's up. Even if you're new to the channel, I love interacting. Oh, you saw my post? Yeah, so I posted something on all my social media. I actually went to my childhood mall, one of my 2 childhood malls around my area. This was the big one. This was the one that came out in '89, and everybody was freaking out because all we had up until that point was like a single story mall. It had a great stores in it. I actually was thinking about going to that mall and doing a little video, because that mall video, I threw it on my TikTok, it freaking exploded. So it seems like people are really into this kind of stuff, nostalgia based, the memories. So I think I'm going to go and do something like that at my other mall growing up, which again was a single story mall, but I have so many memories at that mall. It was awesome. It had like the greatest arcade I've ever been to there. There was birthday parties we had there. There was a movie theater. It's still around. They're trying to kind of revamp it, but there's not much inside. It's more like there's stores on the outside. You go inside and there's a couple stores. Like, there's a movie theater there again, but that's a relatively new theater. So it's nice to see that they're kind of reusing that single story mall, but man, the memories of it as a kid were just unbelievable. And then this other mall that I went to yesterday, was the one that opened in '89, and it was like 3 stories. It was huge, and that was like, people were coming from all over Rhode Island and Massachusetts to this mall because it was just insane. Neon lights everywhere. It was wild. The food court was like in the front, like up at the top, and you could look out into the parking lot. Everything was glass in the front. It was amazing, guys. And I went in there the other day, and it's been a little while, and I knew that it's been kind of getting rough over the last 5 years, but man, it was brutal. Like, I'm gonna say there was some floors with like literally like 3 stores were on them, and then the bottom floor had quite a bit of stores still. But it's just crazy to me to just see something like that, which was such a staple, just go away. And that goes back to movie theaters too. Like, you think about it and you're like, in time, is that going to be a thing of the past? And like I said before, I'm not helping. You know, I'm not helping by not going. I understand how expensive it is, but at the same time, there's these passes that people are talking about where it's like $20 a month and you get unlimited like shit, right? Or at least 3 movies a week, which to me is unlimited. I mean, I could never go to 3 movies a week. But there's those options, right? Subscription-based options. Maybe that's what it's going towards, but it's hard, guys. It's hard to see, you know, everything that you love just kind of becoming a thing of the past. And I really just think that the kids nowadays are going to have a tough time because all these things that are closing are things that were social, were things that made us work to get things, right? It gave us jobs. The malls gave us jobs. I mean, I worked at the mall at one point in my life. You know, it was a hangout. It was work. It got kids working. Kids had to go there and, you know, shop, or you get allowance or whatever. You go there and buy some stuff. Nowadays, it's like things are so convenient in the world that I think it could be setting us up for failure, to be honest. Success in some ways, failure in the others. You know, it's going to make people very lazy, and I don't think that's good for anybody. Non-social, lazy, you know, non-active, sedentary. These are all bad things that I think in the future could become a problem, you know, with everything being just a click away and you don't have to leave your house. I mean, again, I like some of that too, but not all of it, not everything. You know, it's just sad to see, you know, things from our childhood just being one thing of the past. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys like that stuff. I'm really big on nostalgia, good or bad. So I think about things like that all the time. And I think that video is just kind of a cool video for me to have and for you guys to see. And if that place closes down, at least I have some video footage and stuff like that. So I'm going to go back to the chat too, because I'm sure people want to chime in on that. Yeah, it's a good film, guys. It really is. I've watched it twice. I think it's excellent. Brian, what's up, man? Yeah. Now, is this mall that you have like a new mall? Is it an outdoor mall? Is it, you know, I don't know if they're trying to make more malls, a little bit more outdoor malls now. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, the original cut I thought was better, right? Oh, no, wait. I thought the better cut was the one that didn't have the graduation day footage in it. Personally, I don't know. That might be the director's cut, maybe. But I thought Night Screams was a fun little slasher. Nothing great, but not terrible. And I think Vinegar Syndrome did a hell of a job on the restoration. When I was in high school, there was a place where CHH is from. The mall was right outside the gate of the school that had belonged since closed. Raised and replaced with individual strip malls. So they have it's repurposed. I'm sure this big mall is going to be repurposed. If it's not, you know, it might be apartment buildings. It might be, you know, which again, cool. Like let people live there, fine. But you know, it'll be sad to see it gone. Yeah, it was fun, man. It was, you know, your parents dropped you off with some buddies, or you met kids from school there. You hung around, walked around, got food, went to a movie, played at the arcade, bought some stuff, looked for girls. I mean, these are all things that were like staples, right? And then even like when you're with your parents when you were a little kid, you guys used to go together. It was like a night out. It was like a nice family night, you know, walking in stores, school shopping, getting some stuff. I mean, man, that mall is where I really started getting heavy into movie collecting as well. You know, they had a Suncoast there. There's a lot of stuff that I purchased over there, and there's a Spencer. The Spencer's is still there, man, which is nuts. The Hot Topic is still there. Suncoast became FYE. That's still there. I mean, so there is, you know, a lot of nostalgia still from there. What's up, Scratch? Yeah, and somebody even said on my video, like, oh, it kind of looks like the mall in Kindergarten Cop. Yeah, it does. Like, they all kind of had that specific look. A lot of glass, neons, you know, very, very cool. And it's sad that, you know, we look back on, like, the malls. I have a book, like, Malls of the 80s, and you just see, like, how fun it was. Everybody was happy. Everybody was, you know, you had fights here and there. Of course, you always did. But there was so much to do. If you watch Fast Times at Ridgemont High, the mall, just like that's how it was. That's how it felt. You know, people from different stores chatting away. You'd go see the girl that worked at the, you know, one of the food courts or whatever. And you know, if she was working, you'd go see her on her break and she'd give you some free food. Like, it was just a lot going on. Yeah, people do hate going outside too. I mean, I lived outside. We had a great neighborhood full of kids, and you know, you'd go out in the morning on a Saturday morning after you watched cartoons or whatever, or on a summer day. I remember my mom's like, if it's nice out, get outside, because she knew if it wasn't, we'd be in the house playing video games all day. So my brother and I would get on our bikes, ride around the neighborhood, and wherever we saw bikes in the grass, we'd throw ours on there and go in the backyard or knock on the door, and that's where everybody was hanging out. And it was awesome. It was awesome. I had a real good neighborhood as a kid growing up with kids, about 12 of us all around the same age, give or take like maybe 2 or 3 years in between some of us. But things like manhunt, BMX riding, creating jumps, doing sports in the street, doing sports in people's yards, trading baseball cards. Like these were all things, just hanging out, you know, watching movies, sleepovers. Like these were just all things that we did growing up. And those are memories I'll never, ever, ever forget. And you know, I hope kids nowadays can get stuff like that. It's hard, but I hope. Yeah, the movie pass seems good. I mean, I think seems like there's a lot of good movies out, like coming out right now. But I mean, again, I don't know everything that's going out. Let me see. What's up, Anthony? Hello, by the way. I just did your reaction challenge on my YouTube channel. So my Rad Pack challenge, the 9 movies, you did one? All right, make sure you tag the Rad Pack so we can share it. And that's anybody else too. Everybody who's done a Rad Pack, Rad 9, thank you so much. Tag me, tag Mel, tag Justin, tag the Rad Pack. I don't care if it's a stack of Rad 9 movies on Instagram. Tag us. I don't care if it's on YouTube. Do a video. Tag us. I can't believe how many people have done this video. And what I like the most about it right now is that some of the people who did it were people that I didn't know who they were before. Maybe they popped in chats. Maybe they have smaller channels. It's just, you know, it's not the normal group of people that I always see doing these things. You know, the people I expected, like Ken Mid-Level Media. Like, there's different people, which is awesome. And not only is there different people doing this challenge that don't normally do these kind of challenges, you know, it's exposing their channels to me that I might have missed them, right? Also, too, people of friends or other content creators of people who have done the challenge are doing the challenge because they saw someone they know do the challenge. And now all of a sudden they're like, you know, I don't know who the Rad Pack is, but I checked out their show and because I saw this person doing a challenge. And it's just really cool to see like how far it can branch out because it seems like people really liked, you know, it was only 9 movies. It wasn't 40 movies. It wasn't 50 movies. It wasn't 20 movies. It was only 9. So as hard as it was to narrow it down, at least you didn't have to have boatloads of movies ready to go and try to figure out where to rank them and stuff. So that was cool. It wasn't necessarily a ranking. It was just 9 movies. And I think people like the nostalgia like we just talked about with the mall. I really think that people enjoy picking their brain and going back to those times that, you know, things were new to them, you know, things were exciting to them. And I think people really like to unlock those doors because I sure as hell do. And, you know, when we decided to do this and this was the concept for this challenge, you know, that was one of my mindsets to them is like, listen, like we talk about nostalgia, we talk about this, like people love that stuff. Like, let's get them to dig back into their brain of things they never thought they would think about again and open up these different doors and be like, oh, I did, you know, love that movie. You know, it's been a while since I've seen it, but that thing was on constant repeat. So I'm just very, very happy and grateful for everybody who's participated in that Rad 9 challenge. And guys, there's no end date on this. You keep going. You find our channel. You want to participate. You do it. Tag us. I think it's really cool to see how many people grew up with specific movies that I'm like, you know what? I forgot about that movie. Or, hey, I didn't see that movie. I'm going to check it out. Or, wow, this person has this. They were living the same life I was back then. It's just, it's wild. Very, very cool to see. What's up, Brandon? The Ghost in the Machine. I don't think so, but I remember it. It kind of was around the time where they were doing a lot of things like Lawnmower Man. I just remember the commercials for Ghost in the Machine. It was something I always wanted to see, but I don't ever see that out much anymore. Does it have a Blu-ray or anything like that? I don't think I own that on DVD, which is wild because I feel like I own a lot. Bro, Orange Julius is my jam, man. Ours doesn't have it anymore. It's got Auntie Anne's pretzels, but Doesn't have Orange Julius. But I will say this, being a fitness guy, being a fitness trainer, I created like an Orange Julius healthy protein shake that I pretty much drink almost every day. It's bomb. So I get that taste of Orange Julius, but in a more healthy way. Get some protein in there. Love it. Man, I agree. And you know what? I do love looking up channels and trying to find different things. Like, I'm going to give you a case in point. Caldor. I loved Caldor. So many memories there. I love to go online and try to find maybe people that worked there that had video cameras. There are stuff out there. Child World, which was like my Toys R Us as a kid. That was the toy store that I got so much of my stuff growing up. I got Super Mario Bros. 3 there. You know, I wish I had footage of Child World. Not only just to, you know, repurpose it now to the world, because I think people love going back in time, but for me to never forget that store. And the older I get, the more I forget specific parts of the store. I wish I knew what the floor looked like. I wish I knew, you know, I still in my head know where things were. Like, oh, the wrestling figures were down this aisle, and then they were on the left, and G.I. Joes were on the right. Like, I remember all that. The video games had its own section kind of off to the side. Like, I remember all that. And the same thing with Toys R Us. Like, my Toys R Us closed, and I do have video footage, not inside, but I have video footage of the outside the day it closed. And I never posted it. I should just post it. I think I did, like, you know, thanks for the memories or something, and took a video outside of it. Now it's a whole new store now. It's like a furniture store, but I should post that because, like I said, I think people do like going back and seeing that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, I totally feel you. We had a place called Roller Kingdom that was around me. And, you know, it was like the roller skating rink or whatever. And with the arcade machines there, that was cool too. Hell yeah, man. We still have the Onians for sure. Yeah, dude, Master Wok. You know what's funny? I'm just out of my mind with this stuff that I'm like, dude, I almost want to interview this dude, right? So we used to have Master Wok at my mall, the one that I just did a video on. It used to be there. But there's four restaurants in the food court left. One is called Umi Chicken, and that damn one was there the day they opened in 1989. It's the only one that's been the exact same. Everything else has been something that's come afterwards. You know, Burger King's gone, Taco Bell is gone, Arby's is gone, Master Wok is gone. They're all gone. Sparrow, I think, is gone. Like, these are all gone. Dunkin' Donuts, I think, is even gone. But Umi Chicken is still freaking there. It's mind-blowing. And what's interesting, too, is the dude who was there from day one, that must be the owner, is still there right now. You know what he's doing? There's 4 stores left. The damn mall is dead. And when I was there the other day, he was standing out front, holding the little samples thing, trying to get people to come eat his food. And I'm thinking to myself, that's inspiration. That dude has hung in there since 1989. He's the only one left, and he's still hustling, and he's still trying to get people to buy his stuff when he sees everything around him coming down. And he's still out there. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? When this place decides to go under, I hope that dude's got enough to retire right now. Because, man, to be there day in and day out, same place, watching all these changes around him with the mall, seeing things like Burger King and Taco Bell not make it, and his little franchise or whatever he has there still up. Mind-blowing. I would love to sit down with this dude and talk to him about just the whole thing. How did he survive this? What does he think about this? Does he have any plans of moving and opening a restaurant if this mall shuts down? What's his plan? Man, I'm hoping this guy's made enough to retire. You know, this place, he's in the mall just doing his thing. When this place closes, he's good. You know, it's a very, very interesting to see that kind of work, that this dude is still going strong when he sees that this place is on its last leg. So very, very, very inspirational. I love that stuff, guys. Definitely. I think Stranger Things does a hell of a job. Hell of a job. Gus is outside. Hiss, hiss. Yeah, nobody likes that. We used to ride a few miles to the mom and pop video store. Oh, hell yeah. Good times. You're right, man. That's the one thing you got to say. It's going to be a lot of isolation, depression, humans being cold. And I agree. I think that's what's going to happen. And the only thing I can say from a positive end is I always think to myself, maybe there's hope that something's going to cause a change for the better, you know? But the only thing you can say is we'll always have those memories. We lived it. I think if you're around now, you've witnessed a lot, and older than me or a little bit younger than me, but if you get to experience, and I'm even going to go back to like the day a computer got to your school, or a day your parents got their first VCR, like, I think we were in a pretty damn good era. I really do. We saw a lot of change, but I mean, we had some pretty cool stuff. It's not like we were living, and there might be people older than me watching this, which is fine, but like, and again, you've seen more than I have, but you know, cable TV was kind of brand new when I was young, right? The VCR was new. Nintendo was just hitting the scene. Like, I feel lucky that I was able to experience this and have these memories, because I don't think things are as important to people anymore, because even now, having a phone, having social media, it's all awesome, and I can interact with people I never could interact with in my life. But it takes a lot away from some of the other things, you know, and all of a sudden it's 3 hours and you realize, holy shit, I've been streaming for 3 hours. I've been on my phone for 3 hours. I could have been doing this, and the day's all gone. And it's like, well, I'll try again tomorrow, right? Where time back then moved a lot slower when we didn't have all this stuff, and we had to ride our bikes to the store to get something to eat. We couldn't just call Uber, right? Like, it's crazy. Time flies, man. It's flying right now. And, you know, so things like this, when I can sit and talk to you guys, like, it pulls me back a little bit. My life is very, very fast. And when I sit down and do these things, even though it's midnight or whatever, it takes me down and it lets me just kind of chill out, and brings me back to reality a little bit. And I love it. I love doing this stuff. And I appreciate all you guys that are in here with me and like my stuff and my content and appreciate what I'm putting into it. Because again, it's fun for me. I agree. People work a lot now. You have to, unfortunately, you know. Because what that does is that takes away from other things, family, your own physical health, mental health, right? I'm a fitness trainer. I help people all over the world, all over the US, in person, online, all this stuff. I hear this stuff all the time. You know, people that they don't have a lot of time. So, you know, I gotta figure all that out. How do I create time for them? How can I make them, you know, more active on a day-to-day basis with minimal time? Because their work doesn't allow it, right? It's tough. I think jobs should be a little more lenient when it comes to letting people, you know, focus on their health and fitness and activity, because more or less 80% of the jobs now are sitting for 10, 12, 15 hours a day. I'm lucky that I don't sit all day. I think that helps me in a lot of different ways. Let me see. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll check it out. I mean, I know the name, I just don't know the movie really. But I like Tank Girl. I actually, you know what? I rewatched Freddy's Dead, and I'm going to give a little shout out to Tabata Vision, Brandon over there. He did a great little biopic on Freddy's Dead, and all it did, to be honest, was a movie that I was like, I was disappointed with that. And I saw that for the first time on like pay-per-view when I went to my grandmother's when it first came out. And it was like, he was a little too comedy, a little too jokey, Freddy. And he did a little biopic on it, and I was like, I'm going to rewatch it. And I actually kind of had fun with it now. So I can't hate on Freddy's Dead. You're not too wrong. You're not too wrong. Thanks, man. What up, Fuzz? Matt, you should do a Rad Company show. Get 3B video on it. They did Hulu tape head and like clicks. Oh, I saw the poster for tape head. It's like a VHS tape head, right? That's cool. That's something I'd like to check out. I don't know 3B video, but I can look them up. Speaking of Rad Company, guys, I've had a couple real cool episodes. A couple weeks ago, I did one with Captain Horror. If you haven't checked that one out, go. He's another YouTuber. I think he's someone that's very underrated. Great dude. We had a fun conversation talking about him growing up. It was funny. And then last night I had Cody Leach on, which was great. Very, very cool for Cody to come want to hang out on here. First time I ever talked to him. He was someone that was highly requested to be on the show. Did I know he was going to come on? No. But he did, and I think we had a really good conversation for two people who didn't know each other one bit. First time I ever had a full conversation with him. I think he gave a lot of great information. It's one of those dudes that's in this movie community that actually left his job and said, I'm going to shoot for YouTube full time. And he's going on 2 years, and that's very inspirational. People may love him or hate him, but he's a good dude. He didn't have to come on the show, and I hope you guys check that out too, because I think it's just a really good conversation, and I appreciate him, taking the time to come on here. So, and guys, thank you, because if it wasn't for you guys and keep giving me the name, and I've been Instagram messages or in the comments, and we want you to try to get Cody Leach on, or maybe I would have never found him, to be honest. I would have never had him on. So obviously, guys, give me recommendations for sure. I mean, I always have people I want to bring on, people that I'm following on a consistent basis, all over social media platforms, people that I think you should kind of give a second look to or a first look to. I try to make it different. I try to, not collaborate with the same people all the time. I want to change it up a little bit, keep it fresh, expose new talent, right? So very, very good show last night. If you guys haven't checked it, definitely go check it. KB was awesome, man. Yeah, that was in they had those at both malls, the little one and then the big one, but it's not there anymore. Obviously, those are all closed. What's up, Dallas? Tiana, what is up, kid? Go check out Tiana Loves Movies. Movie Junkie John, I'm a huge Cobra Kai guy, but honestly, I haven't really been paying attention to anything for the new season. So I really don't have a lot of thoughts. I mean, I'm under the assumption they're going to go to Japan or China and do this tournament. This big world tournament. That's my assumption. The only thing I could hope for is maybe have everybody come back. Everybody goes to this tournament. Allie's there. Chose the whole reunion of everybody is there somehow, and that would be cool just to kind of end it on a high note. As far as anybody coming back, the only person at this point that I think would make a big difference coming back would be Dutch. He wasn't a main character in the movie, but he was somebody people always remembered. He actually tried out to be Johnny originally. So it would kind of be cool to see Dutch, because he's the only one that hasn't come back yet. And, in one of the seasons, they referenced him and said he was in prison. So it'd be kind of cool to have him come back, because he was always the Cobra Kai guy that was it almost he seemed like he was a little more evil than Johnny was, right? He was the one that was there was no good in him. So there's a lot they could have did with that character. And he had he has a great look, and I would love to see him back and do a little cameo. Agree, dude. What's funny is I have VHS tapes of backyard wrestling organization that I was a part of as a teenager, from 14 on. We did on a trampoline. We had rings that we built. We had gimmicks and characters. I have 10 tapes. We were doing hardcore stuff, lighting tables on fire, jumping off sheds, having light tubes smashed over us. We were, and some of these events actually got on public access in my area. So I have them all on VHS, man. And you're right. I don't know how to convert this stuff either. I would love to get these things converted digitally and make little clips on it for, social media, maybe put it up on YouTube as a full pay-per-view or full event or something. I just think there's a lot there that might be fun. And I would love to go back and watch them, because it's been forever since I've seen these things. Yep, there's still an FYE at my wall. Shitty walk. What's up, zombie? Oh, that's cool, man. What's funny? I don't think we ever had Sam Goody around me. I don't ever recall that. Maybe in Warwick there might have been one, but I don't ever recall going there. I used to go to Circuit City, Best Buy, obviously. There's a place called Lechmere that was in my mall that, had a lot of CDs and movies and stuff. Here's a good one. Strawberries. Strawberries was a big one for me. Coconuts was another one. Yeah, a lot of the strawberries turn to FYEs as well. I used to get a lot of stuff at Strawberries. DVDs, CDs especially. Back for Blood. This is a mall story, but I went around the time I turned 8. I was taking my father's Showbiz Pizza. That's awesome. I love these stories, man. I really do. I love them. We didn't have a Showbiz Pizza here. We had Chuck E. Cheese. So but I totally get it. Are we talking about, who are we talking about? Cody? Yeah, good dude. Hell yeah. Kmart was in the mall I was at too, yeah. Did they really? Maybe this one does too. Or maybe this one does DoorDash. I have no idea. I actually, part of me wants to go back and just get it, just to support the dude. It's been forever since I've had something like that, but I'm like, I'd love to just kind of talk to this guy, you know? 4K Media Guy. All right. You know what? This is another topic of conversation I wanted to make sure to get in tonight. So I've been rambling about malls. I might have to change the the description of the video. But yeah, I want to talk about ScreamFactory a little bit because, you know, we always kind of give ScreamFactory a little bit of shit over here on the channel. And the Dead Pick guys, we do the ScreamFactory history because, again, I was a ScreamFactory completionist. I was obsessed with ScreamFactory. I thought they were like the best thing since sliced bread. You know, I loved it. I had a special deal with this store in my area that I was on a list. Every time something with ScreamFactory was released, it would come to the store. They'd put it in a pile. When I would show up, they'd give me everything that came out that week. Not for free, I would pay for it, but because I was part of this program they were doing, like a pre-order program, I used to get discounts on my pre-orders. And I was like, hey, I want every ScreamFactory release that comes out. I'd go in, they'd give me whatever came out for the week. They'd say, okay, cool, because you pre-ordered this, you'll get 10% off everything or something, you know, and it was cool. And that's how I obtained most of my collection until that store shut down. And then it was like I had to only do it online and stuff like that. But, you know, through the years, ScreamFactory's had their ups and downs, right? They've had their issues. The whole Nightbreed thing was one, you know. They had plenty of issues where they mispriced stuff and then took it back and said, sorry, anybody who ordered it, you know, it's not going to happen, right? Which is actually funny because they just mispriced Night of the Comet when they released it. And I bought it for a very discounted price. You know, it was granted, it was only like $10 off. But I pre-ordered it, and I will say this, as of right now, they have not canceled my order, nor sent me anything saying that the price was wrong. But that lasted about an hour, and then they fixed it on their site. So, do I get it for $10 cheaper? As of right now, it seems like I may. But that's remained to be seen. They usually will get you right away and be like, oh, sorry, you got to cancel your order, you got to buy it for this price. Again, it was only $10 difference. It wasn't $50 difference or anything like that. Maybe only a couple people ordered it in time. I don't know, but all I know is right now, it's supposed to be coming when it's ready. But what we can do with ScreamFactory is, you know, there's been a lot of changes over in ScreamFactory, and you know, when companies go through changes, it's either, you know, it could be to evolve, right? Maybe they think, let's revamp, let's change some stuff because, you know, we want to move to the next level and maybe it'll give us an excuse to kind of change how we do things. Sure. Companies rebrand all the time. They announced today they're going to be called Shout Studios now. I don't know if that means that anything when it comes to ScreamFactory line. It could just be a bigger umbrella. Shout Studios is an umbrella looking over things like ScreamFactory, Shout Factory releases, other things they're working on. Maybe it's just more of like their umbrella now. But maybe it's a rebrand. Does it start being called Scream Studios? I don't know. I don't know enough about it yet. But they also parted ways with one of the creators of ScreamFactory, Jeff. Now, I don't know the details on that. Did he leave? Did he quit? Did he get let go? What were the reasons? I don't know. But again, they're making changes over there. Could it be for the better? Sure. But when companies start rebranding and changing things up, in my head, I think something wasn't working because nobody takes something and makes all these changes when everything's going well. I don't see the point of it. In my opinion, it's always, hey, guess what? You've got a wave and you're riding it high, ride it as long as you can. As soon as that wave comes crashing down, then let's pivot and figure something out. And it seems like maybe that something's not going right over there. Maybe their sales have gone down. Maybe they've lost a lot of titles to other companies, and now they're trying to point fingers because now they're getting smaller titles instead of these big ones that they used to have. I don't know, but I'm very curious to see because, as you know, their way of doing things has only gotten worse, right? Like these bundles where you only can get exclusive artwork slipcovers if you pay another $60. Like, that's asking a lot from people. You're going to charge $60 for a set of pins and a sticker? That's a little bit much for upgrades, guys. Upgrades. Now, I'm a sucker sometimes. I'll grab upgrades. I'll actually admit right now, I bought freaking Creepshow. And I swore up and down I would not buy Creepshow. I said I wouldn't do it. I loved my Creepshow. I loved the hard box. I loved everything about it. This new Creepshow that came out, standard edition, little slipcover, nothing fancy. But I was really strong with it until I watched, and I'll throw him a shout out. Who the heck was it? Might have been Rich Diaz, perhaps. He's a big Creepshow guy. He knows his Creepshow in and out. And he said, the picture quality is better. It's a lot better. And that's what I needed to hear, because I heard from other people it looked better, but you know, I don't think that they're as big of a Creepshow fan as someone like myself or other people that, you know, have been watching this since the 80s, that had this on VHS, that had this on DVD. So their opinions were like, cool, but it's still not winning me over yet. Then when I heard Rich Diaz talk about it and say, this is the best it's ever looked, it's the best it's probably ever going to look. And I said, shit, you know what? I'm going to probably have to get it. You know, he talked about they color graded it. So there are specific scenes that are colored very different than what we're used to. Colored the way that they've always wanted them to be. And that intrigues me a lot more than just saying it looks better. You know, this looks better. Well, if I can watch Creepshow for the 500th time and have the coloring just a little bit different on what they wanted originally, that's more of a bite for me. I love watching movies that are slightly changed for the better or worse. If a company comes out and says, hey, we threw all the deleted scenes in there, maybe it looks good, maybe it looks like shit, but to me it's a different experience, so I'll give it a shot. So I did get it. Do I regret getting it? I regret paying $25 or whatever I did. Sure. But it is what it is. But I'm not going to get these bundles. No way. No way. Like I said, I have every collector's edition already. These are just all going to be upgrades for me. And they did announce and, you know, some up-and-coming titles, things that I own, School Spirit, The Pack, Boyfriend's a Demon, or whatever it's called there. These are all new titles, which is cool to get new titles. They're Blu-rays, right? But the problem is, in my opinion, is that these titles are just, they're now limited, right? So there's only 1,500 released. They did that with Creepshow 3. They did all this stuff, which in my head, they're thinking of themselves, these aren't going to be big sellers, but people might want them. Sure. But $30 for a bare bones Blu-ray of movies that are subpar, it's asking a lot. So do I keep my DVDs and say I'm happy with School Spirit on DVD? Do I keep my DVD and say I'm happy with The Pack? Actually, I'll probably get The Pack. It's a good movie. My DVD is actually a DVD bootleg that I've had for many, many years. So I probably will get The Pack. Do I think it's worth $30 plus shipping? No. No. So anyhow, with all these changes in ScreamFactory, with all these weird pricing things they're doing, now they're putting a lot of their stuff on limited runs. Are they changing for the better, or is there something going on behind the scenes that they're just throwing these things out just to see what happens? I don't know, guys. I think ScreamFactory right now needs to put out something big The new Chucky movies, that's sure that's big, but you know, now it's on kind of back order for a little bit. Like it's not released yet. They need Elm Street. They do. We've talked about this before with the close of Olive Films. If you guys haven't checked it out, I did an awesome stream with Brian Goes Blue talking all things Olive Films. What's next? Looks like Kino's taking most of their titles, which is great. But there's a lot of titles in that library that ScreamFactory could really use right now. If they want to get their shit together, they want to get back in the game, they need something like Cujo, Thinner. Let's get Monster. Well, they lost Monster Squad. I mean, again, I don't know the deal. Maybe Kino just bought the whole library, but Monster Squad seemed like a ScreamFactory release to me. I would have rather seen it go to ScreamFactory than Kino, because I just think ScreamFactory, it just feels right in that library. But they didn't get it. And we don't know if they even tried. Now, the other big thing is IFC. IFC was working with ScreamFactory on all these releases. Some good ones, too. And we just found out IFC now is partnering Vinegar Syndrome, which is cool, because IFC's got some good stuff in their library. But that also means ScreamFactory lost that partnership as well. Now, did it run out? Did they not want to renew? I don't know these things. But all I know is when you see things like that happen to a company, and they're going through all these other changes, to me, that just seems like there's something off. And who knows what it is. And it'll be sad if something happened to ScreamFactory, but at the same time, I also think if it does, they have nobody to blame for themselves, because they were top dog and they got comfortable, complacent, and they let all these other companies, you know, get ahead of them by being innovative, by thinking outside the box, by not relying on these titles they've had access to for so long and re-releasing them on Blu-rays, on Steelbooks, on 4Ks, like just rehash after rehash. They put out new stuff. So who knows what's going to go on ScreamFactory? There's just a lot of moving parts right now, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But I think they really need some big hitters to get themselves back in the game. They need something like that Friday the 13th box set. You know what? To be honest, if they were getting all these Chucky movies, I would have rather had them wait till they had everything, put out a huge box set like they did the Friday the 13th, and said, here it is, guys, all 4Ks. You get 1, 2, 3, Bride, Seed, Cult, whatever. Put it in a box set. Boom. There it is. There's your big release to hold you over for a little bit. But they didn't. They split it. And I just didn't think it was such a... It could have been more, I think. But we'll see. I've talked about this before. How cool would it be if all of a sudden they announce, hey, sorry about the wait on these Chucky movies, but as a bonus, if you pre-order these, we're going to throw in a box that's going to house not only these 3, but the other 3 that you got before in a nice box. We're going to have all this, you know, custom artwork on it. You're going to get that free with your, you know, with your order if you order the bundles or whatever. You get that. Now, all of a sudden, maybe you didn't buy Child's Play 3, but now you're getting a box that's going to house all of them. You know what? Those collectors are going to go back and buy the ones that they didn't purchase to fill this box up. It's business 101, and it's a good customer service. You know, I don't see why these things aren't being thought of. And it's just like, oh, we'll put it in a cardboard generic slip, and here you go. And if you give us more money, we'll give you another slip that you can do something with. Silliness. But yeah, that's like my thoughts on ScreamFactory right now. I think they just need something. They need something because they're falling way behind when they were just way above everybody. And guys, I don't hate ScreamFactory. I just think they make a lot of mistakes. And this is somebody who is a big fan of theirs for many, many years and loved their stuff. But it's just to see them kind of getting all these titles taken from them. I mean, Arrow just came out with that damn Empire box set. Sold like hotcakes. They put a little effort into the packaging, and they're selling you these movies that are like B movies that are decent. Right? They're not even like amazing movies. They're fun. But guys, every one of those titles in there except for Arena. Well, Arena, yeah, sure. Even Arena. Shout Factory and ScreamFactory had those titles. They had their chance. They put them out. Double packs. Standard editions. One of those got a collector's edition, dolls. But they didn't sell like hotcakes like this damn thing did. This thing's already sold out. They had the opportunity to do something like that. They didn't do it. They lost those titles, and now look, Arrow just made those seem like 10 times more important than ScreamFactory did. So again, there's opportunity there, and it seems like they just keep losing stuff. Arrow's putting out that Psycho box set. They could have did a box set. You know, who knows? I don't know. I just hope to see something cool come from them. They need it. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm way behind on the chat now. I just want to see if there's anything else I had touch points on when it came to news. I knew I wanted to talk ScreamFactory. I knew I wanted to talk about the movie theater situation and how horror is really still important when it comes to theatrical releases. They're killing it still. And I just think that more companies need to get on that. Horror is still over, man. It's still over, and I love it. Upcoming shows. We have some upcoming shows on the channel. Obviously, the Rad 9 thing you guys are doing great with. I love it. Thank you so much. Make sure if you're still going to do one, tag me, tag Mel, tag Justin, tag the Rad Pack on Instagram or on YouTube, wherever you decide you want to do it. You want to do it Instagram, make a stack of movies, boom, do a little reel, whatever you want to do. Again, I think it's fun. I love the support. Tag us. We've been sharing everything. It got crazy for a while. If I missed yours, please tell me, because I've been trying to share everything, but there was a lot coming through, and with my job, like I don't really get to sit around and do that. Like, it's like when I'm there, I may get some breaks that I have like a couple minutes to just, you know, see things that I was tagged in and retag them. So I may have missed because there was a lot coming in at one point. And I'm still catching up on some of them, watching them too. So if I haven't commented on yours yet, it means I probably haven't watched it yet. So a couple things. Next Tuesday on the Rad Pack channel, we're going to be doing our live show. Now, usually we do it on a Friday or Saturday. It's been crazy with our schedules. So we're going to do it on Tuesday night, this coming Tuesday, at 9 p.m. And it's going to be Rad Pack Extreme. We're going to be talking about skateboard movies, rollerblading movies, BMX movies, basically a Rad 9 of that genre of movies that we really like. So we're going to kind of dive into some of those, talk about some of the ones we really love. Tomorrow, you can find me and some other rad people over on Planet CHH's channel for his Planet Dirty show. So he does a Planet Dirty show with Brandon Tabato. And you can find me and some other rad guests on there tomorrow night, which is really cool. Also, too, I'm going to do some Anchor Bay archives. I got a couple in the work. I'm going to be doing one on the Heathers locker, the Blu-ray locker. If you guys remember that, I'm going to be doing one on that next. That should be coming out next week. I've got a lot of Ninja Turtle stuff coming out. And the reason I've kind of hold off on it is I'm going to kind of try to aim it towards when the new movie comes out, that new Mutant Mayhem movie. So the week that comes out or the week before it comes out, you're going to see a lot of Ninja Turtle stuff come through. Some I've done with my brother and my sister-in-law. So that's going to be a lot of that you're going to see coming through on that. Also, too, with the Dead Pit Boys, we're going to be working on Vestron Year 2. We're also going to be doing a new series talking about the Masters of Horror show. So we're going to be talking about the DVDs that were released. We're going to be talking about the show. We're going to do it, I think, in 4 parts. Masters of Horror Year 1 Part 1, Masters of Horror Year 2 Part 2, or Season 1 Part 1 or whatever. And then we're going to do Season 2 Part 1, Season 2 Part 2. So that should be a cool series because nobody's really touched upon the Masters of Horror stuff, at least in the circle I'm in. So that's going to be coming to, I think, in September. So be ready for that. Rad Company's going to be on hold for a month. So the end of Season 3 was last night. And I'm going to start my new season in September. And I've already pretty much got everybody lined up for that, more or less. So should be a cool season as well. A lot of new faces that I want to expose to you guys. So hopefully you'll like it. So that's kind of what's going on off the cuff on shows that's coming up. And obviously other ones that are kind of in the works and whatnot. Camp Rad Pack's coming back in August. We're in the works for something pretty cool with that one. That was one of our most famous shows, I guess you could say, last year. So if you're not subscribed to the Rad Pack podcast channel on YouTube, do that. And also the Rad Pack podcast on the audio platforms like Spotify and iTunes and stuff. So we've got stuff coming on both channels. But yeah, the Camp Rad Pack's going to be a cool one. We hopefully can have something special for that. Now, those are the main stuff I want to talk about tonight. I don't want to stay on much longer, but I will go through the chat and I will answer questions if you guys have any. Now, it says I have a starred thing. Did someone send a chat in? Oh, man. Cody, the dude who loves movies. Speaking of Cody, we are going to do another next month, episode 2 of Rad Dudes with me and dude who loves movies. So you can expect that. We've got a couple shows in the works, and we're going to do one next month. So don't forget to roundhouse kick that like button. There's over 80 people in here right now. Appreciate you guys. If you haven't popped in and said hi, just throw a what's up in the comments. I'm going to go to them right now. And thank you so much, Code, for the super chat. Roundhouse kick that like button. If you're in here, definitely hit that like button. Super, super appreciated. But before we move on to that, I am going to give Cody a little bit of a Haim dance. Here we go. Nice. Nice. All right. So I'm going to go back to the chat now and see. So I'll throw this on here if you guys aren't subscribed over to the Rad Pack Pod channel. And then I'll go back to the comments. I'm way behind, guys. Let me see here. Way behind. Okay, here's where I ended up. That's what made me decide to talk about it. I don't know. I don't think they care. Eastside Motel. Eastside Motel. I agree. Hell yeah, man. Bren, that's amazing, dude. That's amazing. I'm very, very proud of you for doing that. Such a great era, man. Everything seems so important. Hall & Oates! What's up, dude? Twisted Trucker. No, I haven't. Somebody messaged me that earlier today. Maybe it was you. I have not. I have to. I think what I'm doing is holding up hope that, like, that big box set will get more releases. Like, I missed out on it. And I'm hoping that maybe someone, like, I haven't seen it pop up on Orbit. I haven't seen it pop on Diabolic. And I'm like, is it sold out, or have they not put it on pre-order yet? I don't know. I'm almost like waiting on the Groove 4K Steelbook because I'm like, oh, maybe someone's going to release that big set. And they may not, and I may miss out on both. But I got to do something because I love Duel. I really do. Cool, man. Honestly, I don't know who they are, and it's so weird. And I talked about this last night with Cody, and it was kind of actually embarrassing that I didn't know about Cody Leach till about a year and a half ago, because he's such a large channel. But it's weird because you feel like in this community you're kind of attached to everybody, and you're like, oh, I know everybody. But these communities are so big, and there's all different pockets of this community. I must have missed these guys, 3B. I'll check them out. I mean, the only thing you guys can do for me is start talking about me to them. That's it. If you want people to know who I am, because if I ask people to be on the shows, if they don't know who I am, there's a less chance they're going to do it. Obviously, if they look at my content, they'll be like, okay, I like his stuff. I'll go on. Could be it. But if they hear a lot of people talk about me to other channels, hey, you guys should collaborate with this guy. Hey, that just helps these things happen, guys. So again, the way you're saying it to me right now, say it about me to these are the people that you guys watch that maybe you've never seen anybody in my circle collab with, because I'm interested in doing that. TJ, what's up? Have you seen the Friday Night doc? Oh, I love that documentary. Love it. Yes, man. There's actually that documentary it's on the 4K, but I have the actual documentary when it came out. It came with a book. It's a full documentary. It's actually talks about part 1 and part 2, where I think on the 4K they only give you the part 1 Fright Night. Doesn't give you the part 2, I don't believe. But amazing. What's up, Justin? How are you, man? I do like Richard Diaz a lot. He's someone I wouldn't mind getting on. He doesn't do a lot of collaborations. I don't even know if he follows me, but he's someone I like. It's something weird, like with him. He's not. It's strange. Like, he's very just kind of bland, but like he just gives good information, and I like listening to his stuff a lot. I don't know if it's because it's not overwhelming. I don't know if there's something about him that I just think is really cool. And I like to go to him for like news and stuff. And I know he knows his stuff, so his opinion means a lot to me because he's really, really, good with talking about the technical stuff on these movies. So I would love to do something with Richard, but I just don't know if he does that kind of stuff. And I've never reached out to him. So if you guys know him, you know, have him come find me. Rage. What's up, Daniel? What's up, man? Man, you know what? I would love to. I'm not probably. Maybe next year I will, if it's in Florida still. Because I may be going down to Florida next October, and if I do, it's a bucket list thing for me. I've always wanted to go. I almost did go once, actually. It was actually with Piz. We had talked about maybe going down there and meeting up, and it just didn't work out. So I've never been down there, guys. It is one thing I would love to do. But speaking of like Universal Studios, I was talking to some people last night about a Universal Studios show. So keep your eye out for that. Yeah, man. Backyard wrestling was everything. If you grew up in like the late 90s, early 2000s, yeah. Yeah. I didn't get it. No. I might, but I haven't jumped on it yet. I own it already on DVD. Yeah, I have that box set. It's actually, I'm trying to see if you can see it. It's up on this top shelf back there. It's like that white shelf right there. It's right there. I love that set. I love that set. You know what I'm talking about. Leechman watches Star Wars. That's awesome. Leechman was bomb, man. Oh, nice. I mean, they have to be, man. They have to be. I agree. Are they letting them go to get to Rob Zombie's Halloween? Like, I mean, cool, but I don't think that's priority one for them. But hey, you know, it'll be cool. But if that's priority one for them, they need to figure something out. That should not be priority one for them to be like, oh, let's just sell all these titles off so we can get Rob Zombie's Halloween. I mean, it's cool, but there's a lot more bigger fish to fry, I think. I believe it's just, I mean, sure, man. Like I said, I think if at the end of the day, if it doesn't work for them, I think they were their own demise. I really do. I really do. There's no reason. There's no reason. Okay. I didn't see that part. All right. Ben Grimm says, one mall memory I had was, I remember the one with missing. Ooh, search for an owl, called the cops. Turns out he was playing some tanks. Yeah. Shit back. When you don't have phones back then, you didn't know where people were. I agree. It does. And then look what happened. Look what happened. Remember Anchor Bay went to Stars and all this other stuff? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that'll redeem themselves, but I mean, those would be great releases. Someone should put those out. Yeah, of course. I mean, I am not paying extra money for pins, I'll tell you that much. Or stickers. Come on now. Stickers? What are we going to do with them? What are we going to do with those? What's up, man? It's so what it is all four of these posters back here are like artwork. So they're artwork from artists that do alternative movie posters. So basically they take the movie and they give an idea of what their poster would look like if they did it. So they're custom, but they're original to an extent. Like these are real deal. Like these things are pricey. Like that Child's Play poster is worth a couple $100. That Jason Lives one is worth a couple $100. That Lost Boys one just came out, but that's worth a couple $100 easy. The Gate one, maybe worth 150, but I also have it signed by Steven Dorff, so that could probably raise the price on it. But yeah, these are expensive posters. I do have a one sheet Child's Play too. That's usually the one you see behind me sometimes, but I changed these out for a podcast interview that I did. And if you guys, again, go to the Rad Pack podcast, audio or video, you can see the interview we just did with the artist of all these prints you see behind me. Very cool interview. Little Nicky should have been a collector. You know what's funny is I actually don't own Little Nicky, and I think I probably will buy that from them just because I don't have it in my collection for some reason. I thought I did. I looked, I didn't. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get that one. But again, it goes back to this whole thing. It's like some have slipcovers, some don't. It's just nothing's formulaic, and it's really annoying. Yeah, I agree. I think that it should have been $15. It's a Blu-ray standard. There's nothing on it. I mean, why? Because it was limited to 1,500? Well, there's a lot of limited to 1,500 movies on their site that are still sitting there. I don't think it's been as bad. I haven't noticed it. Which is crazy because we're like what happened? Like when did this what stopped them from being this gung-ho company that could get whatever they wanted? Thinner would be great. Dreamcatcher, pretty good movie. The Mist, sure. Gothica, Darkness Falls. I think these are all movies that they could and should get for sure. Zapped, ScreamFactory. If Zapped comes out from anybody, I'm getting it. I didn't have the olive one. Sure, man. Like it's tough because here's why. Because I don't mind doing videos and comparing them from a physical standpoint. Like, hey, here's what you get with this. Here's what it looks like. But then to go in and put all the clips in there, I've done that a couple times. But then it's like all people do is fight with me. Like I did one on what was it? I did a Lost Boys one comparing the Blu-ray to the 4K. I did one on Summer of '84, and then all people do is like, oh, your TV's messed up. You need to fix your TV. That's why it looks so different. It's like, my TV's messed up. Like, okay, it was just expensive 4K UHD OLED TV. Like, what? I gotta get it calibrated for any of my videos to count. Like, that's why I don't do a lot of that stuff. It takes a lot of editing, which I hate doing, and then I just feel like I put it out there for people to see, and then nobody, people always have something to say about it. So it's not really something I'm interested in doing per se. I do watch other channels that do that though, just to again give myself an idea. But it comes from like I'll compare them from a physical standpoint. Here's what you get. Here's what it looks like here's the slipcover. What I think the picture looked like. I'll do all that, but to show stills and stuff, it's cool. But like I said, I've tried it twice, and there's a lot of negative comments, I guess. Let me see. I agree. I didn't usually either. And yeah, somebody did do Creep Show because I just watched it yesterday. So after I saw the Rich Diaz thing, I found one that does compare it, and it did look better. And like there are some color changes. I do want the burning. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I think anything that takes place outside to me should look fantastic. Think about that though. Honestly, I would have rather had Nightmare Blu-ray box set than those damn 4Ks of Halloween, personally. I mean, yeah, they look great, but that Halloween box set to me was like, that was gold, man. That was so well done. They didn't need the 4Ks. Not yet. Not yet. I would have rather had them get Nightmare. I mean, again, do I like Rob Zombie's Halloween movie? Sure, I do. I actually loved it when I first saw it. I'm not a Rob Zombie hater. I think he's got some decent stuff. I think he's got some crap. I'm not a big fan of Part 2. I do think it's one that I think may grow on me the more I watch it. But as of right now, it was one of the worst theater experiences of my life, and I just never grown to love it. I still have problems with it. I do love Scout. I do love Danielle Harris. So, they're always going to have my support on things that they do. That's just me. So I'll definitely buy the Halloween 4Ks from Rob Zombie, but do I need them? No. I'm not going to jump for joy if they release it. Oh my God, I'll probably get them, but I think there could be more. Hey, Joe Reese. Oh man, that sucks. I hope you feel better, dude. You're right, but again, I'm just trying to help the guys here. I'm just trying to help them get some leeway with the fans over here. Yeah, man, see, there's just a lot of problems. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I agree with all that. That seems like stuff they would do. Speaking of, somebody wanted me to get you on my show, brother. So message me. We're going to talk. I think actually would be a very good conversation. And the thing is, too, I know they're not losing stuff, they're letting stuff go, but it goes back to why. Why? Let me see. Also, they were never super limited, so they were sold out until they went out of print. Dolls and those other titles sold well, but they weren't super limited. Like that said, never sold out until they went out of print. Yeah, but I also think that with a lot of them, if they were housed together, in a set, and the set was themed, I think it probably would have did a way better job for them. I think it would have been something more people would have been after than just throwing them in 2-packs. Let me see. It could have been. It could have easily been. You're right. It doesn't. I mean, ScreamFactory did have rights to 2, 3, and 4. We know that. It had rights to the remake, but I don't know how easy it would have been for them to get the original one. But again, you never know. I mean, Arrow could do it if ScreamFactory doesn't have if they got rid of the titles. I don't know, but it's a possibility for sure. I did. I just talked about that. Yeah, I saw that. I love that movie, and they actually had I snagged it for like a cheap price. I think there was like a pricing error on their site. It may come back and tell me they're going to cancel my order, but maybe not. Yeah, guys, if you haven't checked it, go back. I talk about all this. It could be good. It could be bad. I thought that too, but somebody said that's false. They're going to still say ScreamFactory. Let me see. I love Your Next. I think it's a great movie. What's up, Noise Loop? Yeah, definitely go back and watch it. I talk about a lot of stuff. No, not yet. It's done filming. I know that much. But I think it's not out yet. I did. I picked up Scream 6 on Blu-ray. Yes. It's over there. I get the Steelbook. There's a couple videos I want to do soon. Maybe it'll be another Up All Night soon. I have so much crap. I need to do a haul video. I've got so much stuff. I'd rather just do it live because I hate editing. It's just easier for me to get these out of the way. I got a huge amount of stuff over here. That's one video. And then there's another video about conventions, because I have a lot of conventions coming up in my area and I want to kind of nitpick them with you guys. But there's actually one thing I wanted to talk about tonight. I just want your opinions on it before I get off. Now, this article came out this week, and I want to look at it with you guys and get your thoughts on it. Interesting article. All right. So, this article says, industry researcher has never seen so many disc releases. The majority bootlegs. Okay. So Robert Tribby, founder and publisher of the DVD and Blu-ray Report, released that he's been tracking the number of annual releases on discs since the inception of DVD and has never seen as many discs released as he's seen this year, which makes sense. Majority of them aren't coming from studios, major studios, or other legitimate sources. They're being released by bootleggers. The pirates or the helpers are filling the void in the marketplace as the studios have turned away from physical media to concentrate on streaming. Now, I don't know how this dude is tracking bootlegs sales, to be honest with you. I have no clue how he's tracking this, but he's saying the studios have checked out. They're adding the content owners don't think it's worth the effort and money to combat disc pirates. I think they made a financial decision. Now, I can see major studios, right? Major studios going in this route, because the issue with pirating and bootlegging and stuff. Now, how easy is it to get a nice copy of something if you know how to rip it right from the streaming service? It's almost like they're handing you the movie and say, hey, do what you want with it, right? If you're that kind of person, you could easily create nice Blu-rays or HD or 4Ks. Now, when I look at smaller companies like Vinegar Syndrome and all them, like I don't think that's necessarily the case. But I'm thinking, I don't know if they're talking about major studios here, but I don't know. It says studios aren't minding the catalog. He notes there were 90-day theatrical catalog released by bootleggers in recent 1 week alone. He says, other than the DVD on theatrical, they don't bother with it. He says the studios own all these libraries. They don't enforce the copyright. They don't release it, and they keep the consumer satisfied. Bootleg discs have always been around, but their number had really begun to explode in 2021, with 2023 on track to reach a record of 29,983 new DVD releases, according to his estimates, more than double the 2,451 released in 2020. Blu-ray releases are similar results, with the number going through June 30th, already at 3,917, more than the number of Blu-rays released in all of 2022. He estimates there will be a total of 7,500 new Blu-ray released of all of 2023. So again, this is just a graph. And this is interesting too. I don't know where he gets this information from. Studios and studio affiliates, total DVD releases through June of 2023, 201. Legit, I don't know what that means. 1881, micro broadcaster. Helpers, which are the bootleggers, 9,900. Now, I'm just trying to kind of graze through this a little bit, if you guys can kind of read it. But he says, he points out 22 Best Picture Oscar nominee Coda streaming on Apple TV has never been available on disc via legitimate source. So you can hardly blame the consumers who purchase these pirated discs. The packaging is slick, he says. It's available immediately, and the consumer doesn't know if it's legit or not because it looks so good. Consumers can't tell the difference. They do not know. They might suspect that if it's pirated, but they do not know for sure. Gone are the days of selling pirated discs on the street corner. Numerous websites now are havens for bootleg sellers. They've discovered that Etsy is a giant flea market of piracy, he notes. The studios are missing out on profits by not plugging the bootleg hole and releasing the titles that the consumers want on disc. With the recently released streaming action sequel Extraction 2, he estimates Netflix left more than $70 million of potential profit on the table, and nobody seems to care. Now, these are just questions and stuff, but I want to go back and just remove this. Now, I'm going to skip over a lot of stuff in the chat and kind of get your guys' opinion on this. I don't know how he gets these numbers. I really don't. Do I think it's interesting? Yes. Because in some aspects, it's interesting because I didn't really think about how easy it is now to get some of these movies. And not that I don't even know how to do this, right? So I'm not going to do it myself. But if these companies aren't ever going to put things out, would I go to these other sites and buy a copy that's bootleg? Yeah. If I want it in my collection before it's either changed someday or whatnot, then yeah, I'm going to probably snag it. But again, I still have hope that we're going to see these things like Barbarian. Like I still think we're going to see it. But, could I get a placeholder? Sure, I could. But it's just very interesting to see, is this where physical media might be heading to some extent? I think the Vinegar Syndrome and stuff and all those companies might stick around, even though we recently did some closures of Olive and some other overseas companies. But I think some of them seem pretty strong. But the major labels, Disney more or less, Paramount, all these other ones, do they just kind of stream their stuff and then people create their own physical media? I think there's just a lot of stuff they're leaving on the table there, but I wanted to just bring that article up because it was released, I think, yesterday or the day before. I just thought it was pretty interesting, especially because in the community of, physical media, bootlegs have been brought up recently, and I haven't really touched upon them at all, but, I wanted to kind of showcase that to see if anybody feels there's any merit to what they're saying. So I'm going to just skim through and just kind of see what you guys thought of that article. Sup, Super Batman Nerd. Let me see. I hate skipping out on these chats, guys, but I gotta. What's up, Planet? How you doing? I just saw Planet hanging out over with Ryan at Disconnected. Go check out their stream. What's up, man? Welcome. Chris Cool in the house. Oh, really? He did? With that guy? Oh, I didn't know that. I have to go back and check that out. Like, are you saying what do I think, or are you saying it about the article? Again, it's a weird situation, guys, because when you go to your local stores and you see everything dead, it's like you think physical media is dying, but then when you look at these other companies that are putting out 4 titles a month, all these boutique labels, and you're like, I can't even keep up anymore, and you feel like it's hotter than ever. So who knows? I don't know. I think there's going to be a shift, a transition period in physical media. I don't think it's going to die. I think there's going to be a big transition. And I think the boutique labels, physical media is going to be more of a collector's market now. It's not going to be for the average person. People don't care. They'd rather just stream it. You go to thrift stores, all you see is DVDs everywhere. People are like, get this out of my house. What do I need this for? Right. I think there's going to be a transition, and I think it's going to be a collector's market for a bit. But again, it remains to be seen. I just thought that was very interesting about how easy it is to just pirate this stuff, put a slick packaging on it, sell it, especially if these companies aren't going to do it. They even said, we don't blame the consumers, right? But it just fathoms me that if they're selling so well in a bootleg, how much could they make if they decide to put these out on film? Sorry, I'm skipping, guys. I'm trying to just get through here. I'm way behind. Actually, I'm kind of caught up now. Maybe they'll awake and see how much money they're leaving on the table in physical media. I mean, maybe. Hope so. It is a weird article, right? It's very, very weird to me because I'm not good when it comes to numbers or anything like that. I don't follow that stuff. I don't know. I just know what I see, right? But I just thought that was an interesting article that came out. The Nightmare mentioned. Did I miss something? I don't know what you saw. I'm all over the place with this. All right, here we go. I'm going to talk to him because he knows what he's talking about. And reissue those titles were new to blue and screened them. Oh, he's still popping off ScreamFactory. He likes to debate with me. Yeah, I don't know how it works. I have no idea. No idea. Let me see. All right, I'm caught up pretty much now. I've ever thought about doing a top 30 favorite horror films. Yeah, I've thought about it. It's probably gonna happen. I mean, I'll top something. Horror films could be something for October. I know Tim's Talkies wants to do a top 25 favorite 80s movies this month, and I'm gonna do it. But I'm already just thinking about it stresses me out. Because I'm literally going to rip apart my movie room trying to find my top favorite 25 80s movies, and it's going to be a nightmare. So I'm like at a point where it's like I'm putting it off because I'm like, oh, I already know this is going to be such a undertaking to try to do this and rank them, and it's going to be a lot. I'm going to do it. After I'm done, I'll probably second guess half my picks, but I'll do it. But it's a lot. I think when you get up there with 30s, 25s, after like 15 or 20, it gets real dicey. I'm even to say even 20 gets hard because, there's enough there that you have, but there's enough that you're still leaving out, where when you narrow it down to 10, a lot is going to be left out. So I don't know. But anyhow, guys, I've been on here longer than I wanted, but I did get to talk about everything I wanted to talk about, which was good. It was more or less like some news that was going around, some upcoming shows that I want you guys to check out. And, most of all, just kind of communicating with you guys, because that's what I like to do on these Up All Night. Sometimes when I'm doing streams like last night with an interview, we didn't get to talk to everybody because, I was really curious on his story and I wanted to focus and showcase him. And we didn't get to interact too much with the chat. When I'm on stuff with Dead Pit, there's like, we have things that we want to touch upon. So sometimes the chat doesn't always get interacted with because, when we do these shows, it's like we have specific things we want to talk about before we have to, sign off. So we're not doing these for 4 hours. So these up all nights, I have usually a small little theme, but more or less, I'm just kind of chatting it up with you guys. So again, like I said, you can check me out tomorrow night on Planet CHH's channel for Planet Dirty, and it's going to be him, Brandon, and some rad people joining tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's a late one. If you want to pop over there and check it out, I'll post a link tomorrow for you guys to follow in. But other than that, like I said, Rad Pack, go subscribe because we got a big show coming up on Tuesday. And then just keep your eye on the channel, guys, because any one of these up all nights can pop in at any time. And like I said, I've got other things in the works. It's just finding the right time to release them. So, guys, thank you again so much for popping in. Anybody who's coming in on the replay, thank you guys for checking this out. I appreciate all your support as of late. And as always, if you like what I'm doing over here, feel free to share my stuff. Tell your friends. If you want me to collab with certain people, bring me up in their lives. And, you know, I'll reach out and see what we can do. Again, I'll have to check out the channel first because when it comes to bringing people on, I want to make sure, you know, that I vibe with what their content is. Even if people really like them, if it's not something I feel like I want to, you know, watch, then, you know, I want to showcase people that I really think need to be showcased. So, but we'll see. We'll see what the next thing has to offer. Like I said, season 4 is already pretty much full anyways, so it would have to be all the way back to season 5. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking this out. I loved the nostalgia talk tonight too, so hopefully we can do more of that. And this is Garrett at Born to Be Rad, and like always, stay